It was supposed to be my wedding day. My fiancé, Captain David Miller, demanded I kneel in front of his ex, Sarah, who was crying. I refused, and he had his men drag me out of the reception hall. As our guests cheered, he slid the wedding ring meant for me onto Sarah's finger. Someone urged him to come after me, saying I'd be furious. David just laughed it off. Nah, she won't be mad. She can't live without me. Right then, I tore off my corsage, canceled our marriage application, and signed up to volunteer in Alaska. After finishing the paperwork, I headed to the hospital, feeling awful. There, I ran into David and Sarah, still all over each other. They froze when they saw me. Sarah's eyes filled with tears. She looked like I was the one who'd ruined her day. Anna, I'm so sorry, she said. I didn't mean to cry at your wedding. I was just scared David would forget about me, his little sister, once he got married. I panicked. David patted her head, his face full of concern. Don't worry, Sarah. No matter who I marry, you'll always be my top priority. Then he turned to me, his eyes icy. Anna, Sarah fainted because you left. Apologize to her, and I'll let it slide. But don't expect me to reschedule the wedding. My stomach twisted, maybe from pain, maybe from heartbreak. My hands shook. I walked out. Wasn't he the one who had me thrown out? Before Sarah came along, David used to call me his number one. In just a year, she'd taken my place. He'd humiliated me at our own wedding for her. I gave a bitter laugh and headed into the examination room. I came out with 4 bags. My ulcer had flared up the moment David forced me to kneel. I'd kept it quiet to hold onto what little pride I had left. Too weak to even lift the 4 bags, I struggled until David suddenly showed up and hung them for me. I gave him a quick nod and looked away. He frowned, about to speak, when Sarah coughed. He rushed to her side. What's wrong? Still feeling sick. Sarah glanced at me, then whispered, David, my throat's sore from crying. I remember Anna makes great pear tea. I'd love some. David turned to me, his tone sharp. Anna, after you're 4, go home and make Sarah some pear tea. It's your fault her throat hurts. I stared at him, stunned. David, I'm sick, and you're not only ignoring me, but you're asking me to make her tea? He didn't answer, just turned back to Sarah. Their affection was almost too sweet to stomach. This wasn't the David I knew, the one who used to put me first. The last shred of love I had for him disappeared. Then I heard Sarah say, David, it's fine. Don't bother Anna. I don't know why she's suddenly sick, but I'm sure she wouldn't fake it. David's eyes snapped to me, suspicious. Anna, are you lying? I ignored him, staring out the window. He went back to Sarah, their voices louder now. Sarah smiled, her arm looped through his. David, remember when we first met? You promised you'd take care of me forever. David chuckled. Of course. It was a promise to your brother, and to you. The word promise hit me hard. David had made promises to me too, vows to protect me, to never let me hurt. But he'd caused me more pain than anyone in my 20 years. Sarah was the sister of David's late comrade. The first night she stayed with us, she wet her bed and blamed me, claiming I was trying to push her out. I thought David would see through her. Instead, he believed her and made me sleep outside all night. That was just the start. Sarah kept driving a wedge between us. My love for David, which once felt unbreakable, fell apart with every choice he made in her favor. Promises meant nothing. Forever didn't last. I laughed quietly to myself. 5 more days, and I'd be gone. I'd gotten the acceptance for the Alaska volunteer program before the wedding. I'd hesitated, still holding on to hope for David. But now I was free. I realized I needed more than him. I needed to serve, to build a new life. The thought sparked excitement in me. Even my sadness started to fade. Sarah, noticing my silence, spoke up. Anna, you must be thirsty. I'll have David get you some water. She turned to him. David, be a dear and get Anna some water. David glanced at me and left without a word. He came back with a glass. No, thank you, I said. His face darkened. Anna, don't be difficult. I scoffed. Difficult? Would you force me to drink it? In front of everyone, he poured the water over me. Ungrateful wretch. Anna, if you were half as kind to Sarah, I wouldn't dread coming home. A week before the wedding, I'd refused to let Sarah be my bridesmaid, so David moved into the barracks. We'd submitted the marriage application but hadn't officially registered. I used to be heartbroken over it. Now, I was relieved. David ignored me for the rest of the hospital visit. He left with Sarah, his arm around her, right in front of me. I didn't care anymore. At home, I pulled out the only photo we had together, meant for our marriage registration. Staring at it, I thought about our past, how absurd it all felt now. 10 years with David couldn't hold up against 1 year with Sarah. I set the photo on fire and watched it burn to ash. That night, half asleep, I felt hands on my waist. "Who's there?" I shot up, heart racing, and saw David lying next to me. He jumped, startled. "It's just me. What are you doing here?" I asked, frowning. He scowled. "This is my house too. I don't need your permission to come home. Besides, it's our wedding night. What would people think if I didn't show up?" He lit the kerosene lamp. I wanted to snap. Haven't they seen enough? But what was the point? I lay back down. David pulled a ring from his pocket. The wedding ring he'd given to Sarah. Had he taken it back for me? Before I could process it, he slipped it onto my middle finger, a smug grin on his face. He was so sure I'd never leave him. I yanked the ring off. "Doesn't Sarah want it? Give it back to her." His smile faded. "This is our wedding ring. I'll get Sarah another one. She's like a sister to me. Stop being jealous. The wedding mess was your fault. Sarah always saw you as a sister." I laughed coldly. Should I thank her? David ran a hand through his hair, frustrated. "Anna, when did you get so unreasonable?" A loud knock interrupted us. "Captain, you awake? Sarah's sick again. Come quick." David scrambled to get dressed. As he reached for the door, I stopped him. "David, since you think I'm so unreasonable, go ahead and cancel our marriage application." He froze, then turned to me. The air felt heavy. The knocking came again. "It's not happening. We're getting married in a couple of days," he said, and left without looking back. The man at the door was Sergeant Johnson, David's best friend, and a comrade of Sarah's late brother. He glared at me. "Miller, don't think you can bully Sarah just because she has no family. The captain and all of us are her family now." Sergeant Johnson followed David out, acting like talking to me was a waste of time. I was used to it. I locked the door and went back to bed. The next morning, I went to David's office to talk about the marriage application. Sarah was there alone, looking perfectly fine with a mocking smile. She held a stack of letters I recognized, my love letters to David. He'd shown them to her. "Anna, I didn't know you were so bold, writing love letters to David so young," she said. Rage surged through me. I reached for the letters, but before I could touch her, Sarah fell to the floor, scattering them. David's voice boomed from behind. "Sarah, are you okay? Did you hurt yourself?" He shoved me aside, my arms slamming into the desk. Before Sarah could speak, he yelled, "Anna, you've gone too far. Sarah's sick, and you're attacking her." He glared at me like I was a criminal. I winced, clutching my arm. "Why did you show her my letters? Is this how you treat my feelings?" David froze, noticing the letters. He looked at Sarah, who sobbed, "David, I found them by accident. I didn't even open them, but Anna pushed me." She held out her scraped palm. David's eyes filled with concern. "Anna, they're just letters. Why hurt her over something so trivial?" Even though I'd decided to leave him, his words stung. He'd promised to treasure those letters, to keep them private. Now they were trivial. "Apologize to Sarah right now," he demanded. "No," I shot back. David glared. "Anna, I can't believe you've become this person. You wanted me to cancel the marriage application last night?" "Fine, I agree." I froze, then steadied myself. "Good, David. We're done." I walked out, not looking back. David didn't show up for the next few days. I packed my bags. On the day I left, I took one last look at the house I'd lived in for so long. I left the keys on the table and shut the door. My car passed David's on the road. Our eyes met. I looked away first. We'd never see each other again. After days of travel, I arrived in Alaska. The landscape was harsh but beautiful. Free from my toxic relationship with David, even the air felt refreshing. The unfamiliar scenery filled me with joy. As the most educated in our volunteer group, I was assigned to teach local children. A young teacher, John Riley, greeted me, holding a sign with my name neatly written. He'd been teaching in Alaska for 3 years and described the area. I thought I was prepared, but the reality of the tough conditions hit hard. Most kids couldn't even read. Still, their bright, eager eyes confirmed I'd made the right choice. I threw myself into teaching. Within 3 months, many volunteers had left, unable to handle the harsh environment. My ulcer flared up, and I thought about leaving too. But the kids' enthusiasm kept me going. I'd survived David. I could survive this. John teased me about when I'd quit. Looking at the kids playing, I said quietly, "I don't think I'm leaving." He looked surprised. "Lots of teachers come, but few stay," he said, smiling. "Anna, we bet you wouldn't last 3 months. You seemed too fragile. You proved us wrong. I'm sorry for doubting you." I shook my head. "Let's just work well together." He offered his hand, and I shook it. For the first time, I felt like I belonged. The hardest part wasn't teaching, it was convincing parents to send their kids to school. Many thought education was pointless. Every weekend, I hiked miles to visit families. One day, I overslept, skipped breakfast, and headed out. Halfway through, my ulcer flared up. There was nowhere to get food, so I kept going. Soon, I tasted blood. I'd bitten my lip. The pain got worse, and I collapsed. Instead of hitting the ground, I fell into familiar arms. "Anna." I thought I heard David's voice before everything went black. I woke up in a small clinic and four in my arm. David sat beside me, looking worn out. Seeing him didn't hurt as much as I expected. I felt oddly calm. I tried to sit up. "Don't move," he said. It took forever to get that foreign. I stopped, not because he told me to, but because I knew supplies were scarce here. "What are you doing here?" I asked, my voice rough. He looked at me, his tone a mix of worry and scolding. "You've lost so much weight. Why are you pushing yourself with your ulcer acting up? Anna, you're being reckless. You shouldn't have just left without a word. Why can't you be more like Sarah?" "I'll never be like Sarah," I cut in. "And I lost the right to be reckless a long time ago, didn't I? Maybe I was careless when David loved me, but after Sarah, I'd been walking on eggshells. Only the favored one got to be carefree." He frowned, about to snap back, but stopped himself. "Anna, let's not fight. Pack your things. We're going home." "David," I said calmly, "we're not together anymore, are we?" He ran a hand through his buzz cut. "I never canceled the marriage application. I was just angry." I gave him a flat look. "I meant it. I'm not going back, and I'm not marrying you. If that's all, please leave." I turned away. I'd found my purpose here. Standing in front of my students, hearing them call me Miss Anna, I knew this was where I belonged. "Not going back," he shouted. "Do you know how serious your ulcer is? You're killing yourself." I closed my eyes, pretending to sleep. I was done arguing. After a while, he whispered, "I know you don't like Sarah. She's getting married next month. Are you happy now?" I opened my eyes, shocked. I'd assumed he had feelings for her, that he'd marry her after I left. He went on, "Sarah's always been like a sister. You never believed me. Let's stop this, okay? I'll give you a proper wedding when we get back." The thought brought back painful memories. "David, I'm not going back with you," I said firmly. We sat in silence until John arrived. "John," I called out when I saw him peering into rooms. He hurried over. "Anna, are you okay? I heard you collapsed." "I'm fine now, John. Thank you," I said, seeing his genuine concern. "We're colleagues. It's what we do." David glared at John the whole time. Suddenly, he spoke, his voice dripping with sarcasm. "Anna, is this why you won't come home? Found a new boyfriend already?" Furious, I snapped, "David, don't be ridiculous. John's my colleague." John seemed to notice David for the first time. "Anna, who is this?" "I'm her husband. I'm here to take her home," David cut in. John looked at me, confused. "John, don't listen to him. I barely know him. I'm not going anywhere with him." David's face darkened. "Anna, I'm losing my patience. Stop this. I came all this way. Do you really want to keep this up?" I met his gaze, my voice icy. "David, my patience is wearing thin too. Go back where you came from. I'm not keeping this up. I want nothing to do with you." His face turned stormy. Just when I thought he'd lose it, John stepped in front of me. "Sir, Anna said she doesn't know you. Please leave and let her rest." David stepped toward John. "Who do you think you are, telling me what to do?" He turned back to me. "Anna, after you're 4, come with me. I'll forget all about this." "Otherwise what?" I cut him off. "David, this is Alaska, not your personal playground. I was trying to be civil for old time's sake, but you're pushing it. Don't make me do this." He scoffed. "Anna, you've grown quite a backbone in a few months. Let's see how you plan on doing this. I smiled calmly. David, I believe you're up for a promotion to major soon, aren't you? If I report you for improper conduct with another officer's sister, do you think you'll still get it? He stared at me, stunned. Anna, are you threatening me? I snorted. David, are you allowed to threaten me, but I can't threaten you? Anna, do you really think I'll leave you no matter what you do? His words made me want to laugh. He'd taken me for granted, breaking my heart because he thought I'd never leave. David, please leave me. I'm begging you, I said, meeting his shocked gaze. David stormed out. I thought he was gone for good. But the next day, he was at the school gates, looking rough, eyes bloodshot, face haggard. He rushed over when he saw me. Anna. I looked at him coldly. David, what is it? He hesitated. I have a mission. I'm leaving this afternoon. I nodded, my face blank. Have a safe trip. I turned to leave. Anna, wait, he called. I'll come back after this mission. Wait for me. I didn't stop. I didn't believe him. I focused on my work with John and the other teachers, pouring my heart into the kids' education. 5 years passed quickly. We sent our first class off to college. Tears filled my eyes as I looked at their acceptance letters. It was all worth it. David hadn't returned. I assumed he was with Sarah. After the graduation ceremony, I took my first vacation. Before I boarded the train, John handed me a bag of food. Anna, it's a long trip. I laughed. John, you've told me 100 times. Do your students know what a mother hen you are? He blushed. The boarding announcement came over the loudspeaker. John, I have to go. Go home, I said, waving. He called out, Anna? Not Ms. Anna. I turned back, surprised. You'll come back, right? He asked, his eyes full of a familiar worry, the same way I'd once looked at David, hoping he'd choose me. I laughed. Of course I'll be back. This is my home now. His face lit up with relief. After 3 days on the train, I arrived in my hometown. 5 years had changed everything. Familiar streets felt strange. My favorite diner was gone. Passing a school, I heard kids reciting lessons. I pictured my students' faces. Thinking of their makeshift classroom compared to this brick building and paved playground, a pang of sadness hit me. We'd helped some kids move forward, but there was still so much to do. As I was lost in thought, a familiar voice called out, Anna. It was Sarah. She was still pretty, but looked worn, her old arrogance gone, her eyes dull. Her hair was pulled back messily, a far cry from her once polished self. She held a little boy's hand. He didn't look like David. I'd wondered how I'd feel seeing her again. Angry? Cold? But I just watched her approach, feeling oddly numb. Anna. I can't believe it's you. I thought I was mistaken, she said, acting like we were old friends, as if the past was a bad dream. I gave a noncommittal hum. She didn't seem to notice, looking me up and down. Anna, you're back. I offered a candy to the boy. He glanced at Sarah shyly. She nodded, and he took it mumbling. Thank you, ma'am. You're welcome, I smiled. This is my son with Sergeant Johnson, she said. You're with Sergeant Johnson? I asked, surprised. She nodded. When are you going to see David? I stared at her. Why would I see him? Her composure cracked. You have to see him. He's been waiting for you. Anna, why did you leave? She cried. My face hardened. Sarah, you know exactly why I left. She started crying, which set off her son. I'm sorry. I didn't know things would turn out this way. I just wanted to be with David. I didn't mean for any of this to happen. She told me David had lost a leg on that mission and was medically discharged. He'd become a recluse. He hadn't come back because of his injury, not because of Sarah. After much pleading, I agreed to see him. David was a shadow of himself, his vibrancy replaced by despair. His eyes lit up when he saw me. Anna, you came back. I sighed. Just visiting. I'm leaving in a few days. The light in his eyes faded. I didn't stand you up on purpose. He stammered. You were injured, I said. But even if you had come, I wouldn't have left with you. His eyes reddened. Anna, I'm sorry. It was the first apology I'd ever heard from him. But it was too late. Let the past be the past, David, I said softly. Take care. Ignoring his pleas, I walked away. I longed for Alaska, my students, and John. I would